That sound is not a metaphor. It is a diagnosis. We've spoken of spirits, of time, of evolution. But we must now descend from the philosophical and confront the raw, mechanical annihilation. This is not about losing your soul tomorrow. This is about the 7 silent, systematic assassinations happening inside you tonight, with every sip you rationalize. Forget morality. Forget spirituality for a moment. This is a forensic audit of a poisoning. A breakdown of how a substance marketed as liberation is, in biochemical reality, a multi-system demolition tool. I am Napoleon inspires, and this is the final warning label they will never put on the bottle. This is what alcohol is destroying you actually means at a level your numb nerves can no longer sense. Assassination number 1. The gut-brain axis, poisoning the second brain. The destruction does not start in your liver or your mind. It starts in the dark, alien landscape of your gut. Here, 100 trillion bacteria reside, your microbiome. This is not a passive digestive system. This is your second brain, producing 90% of your body's serotonin, the mood stabilizer, regulating immunity, and communicating directly with your skull brain via the vagus nerve. Alcohol is chemical warfare on this civilization. It increases intestinal permeability, leaky gut. Imagine the walls of a city becoming sieves, letting toxic waste, bacterial endotoxins, flood into the bloodstream. It obliterates beneficial bacterial strains, allowing pathogenic ones to thrive. This triggers systemic inflammation, as your immune system declares a nationwide emergency against the toxins now leaking everywhere. You do not feel this. You feel bloating, maybe bad digestion, but what you're experiencing is the first domino falling. The inflammation from your gut travels up the vagus nerve, landing directly in your brain. This is a primary, biologically validated cause of anxiety, depression, and brain fog. That anxiety, it's not just in your head. It's septic leakage from a poisoned gut, inflaming your mind. Assassination number 2. The hormonal nuking, from creator to casualty. You're a walking symphony of hormones. Testosterone, estrogen, cortisol, growth hormone. These are not just chemicals. They're the architectural commands that build your body, your drive, your resilience, your very sexual essence. Alcohol is a hormonal EMP. For men, it directly poisons Leydig cells in the testes, crashing testosterone production. It increases the enzyme aromatase, which converts precious testosterone into estrogen. The result? Loss of muscle, gain of fat, especially breast tissue, evaporated libido, and a deep, unshakable passivity. You're being chemically demasculinized. For women, it disrupts the delicate ballet of the menstrual cycle, spiking cortisol, the stress hormone, and estrogen to toxic levels. This leads to worsened PMS, increased risk of estrogen-driven cancers, thyroid dysfunction, and accelerated aging. For all, it annihilates human growth hormone, HGH, the master hormone of repair, regeneration, and youthful vitality. Deep sleep is when HGH is released. Alcohol fractures sleep architecture, destroying the deep, restorative stages. You are not resting. You are sedating yourself and waking up biologically older than when you went to bed. You are not unwinding. You are disassembling your endocrine system with a recreational sledgehammer. Assassination number 3. The Neuro-Inflammatory Cascade. Your brain on fire. We think of brain damage as a car crash, a stroke. Silent brain damage is a slow, cold fire. This is neuroinflammation. Alcohol and its toxic metabolite, acetaldehyde, trigger microglial cells, the brain's immune guards, to go into a state of permanent panicked alert. They begin to attack healthy neural connections. They release inflammatory cytokines, which are like pouring acid on the delicate wiring of your cognition. This is not you being forgetful. This is literal, physical erosion of your brain's hardware. The prefrontal cortex, judgment, willpower, shrinks. The hippocampus, memory, imagination, loses volume. The white matter, the brain's high-speed internet connecting regions, degrades. The result is a brain trapped in a low-grade seizure of inflammation. This is the substrate of anxiety disorders, of dementia, of the inability to focus, plan, or feel motivation. Your personality isn't changing. Your brain's physical structure is being etched away by a chemical solvent. Assassination number 4. The cellular energy famine, starving the mitochondria. Every cell in your body has power plants called mitochondria. They take oxygen and nutrients and produce ADP, the pure energy currency of life. Your vitality, your sparkle in your eyes, your ability to think clearly is a measure of your mitochondrial health. Alcohol is mitochondrial poison. It damages mitochondrial DNA. It disrupts the electron transport chain, the core energy-producing process. It causes mitochondria to fragment and become inefficient. It generates a storm of reactive oxygen species, ROS, cellular shrapnel that tears apart cell membranes and structures. You are not tired. You are experiencing a cellular-level energy famine. Your 30 to 40 trillion cells are each struggling to produce enough energy to stay alive, let alone thrive. This is the root of chronic fatigue, of feeling wired but tired, of needing stimulants to start your day and depressants to end it. You are running your life on a dying battery that you're actively pouring acid into. Assassination number 5. The epigenetic hijack, rewriting your genetic future. Your genes are not your fate. They're a library. Epigenetics is the librarian, deciding which books, genes, get read and which stay closed based on environment, behavior, and toxins. Alcohol doesn't change your genetic code. It hijacks the librarian. It silences genes responsible for DNA repair. Mistakes accumulate. Cancer risk soars. It activates genes for inflammation and fibrosis, scarring, in the liver, pancreas, and brain. It alters gene expression to increase cravings and reinforce addictive behavior, making your own biology betray you. Most devastatingly, these epigenetic changes can be passed down. The librarian you intoxicate today is making notes that will influence which books are available to your children and grandchildren. You're not just harming yourself. You are drafting a manifesto of predisposition to addiction, disease, and mental illness for your unborn lineage. The poison is writing its sequel in your descendants' genes. Assassination number 6. The immunological suicide pact, disarming the army within. Your immune system is an army of breathtaking intelligence and precision. It identifies threats, destroys them, and remembers them for life. It is the difference between life and death every single day. Alcohol forces this army to commit a threefold suicide. It deploys troops to the wrong front. The gut is on fire. The liver is under siege. The immune system rushes there, leaving the rest of the body, your respiratory tract, your skin, underdefended. This is why drinkers get sick more often. It creates friendly fire. The chronic, systemic inflammation becomes the new normal. The immune system starts attacking the body's own tissues, a precursor to autoimmune diseases. It cripples intelligence. It impairs the function of dendritic cells and T cells, the generals and spies of the immune system. They fail to identify cancer cells early. They fail to mount an effective response to viruses or vaccines. You are not run down. You have orchestrated a controlled demolition of your only defense against a world teeming with pathogens and rogue cells. You are drinking your way into a state of acquired immune deficiency. Assassination number 7. The spiritual anesthesia, numbing the only part that matters. After all this physical devastation, we return to the spirit, because the body is the instrument. When you pour sand into the gears, break the strings, and warp the soundboard, the musician can no longer play the music. The deep intuition, the moments of transcendent connection, the quiet knowing, the surge of purposeful energy, these are not hallucinations. They are the native language of a soul interfacing with a healthy, coherent biological instrument. Alcohol makes the instrument coarse, dull, and out of tune. The music becomes noise. The connection becomes static. The soul's whispers are drowned out by the cacophony of systemic distress signals from a body under siege. You then mistake the silence of the soul for peace. You mistake the numbness for relaxation. You have not found calm. You have successfully anesthetized the part of you that was screaming in protest at its own destruction. The antidote is not abstinence. It's repair. Knowing the 7 assassins is useless without a plan of counterattack. This is not about quitting. It's about launching a biological and spiritual reconstruction project. Phase 1. The ceasefire, days 1 to 7. Hydration and electrolytes. Water with lemon and Himalayan salt. You are flushing the battlefield. Glycine and NAC supplementation. Glycine heals the gut lining. NAC, N-acetylcysteine, is the precursor to glutathione, your body's master antioxidant, directly neutralizing acetaldehyde. Bone broth and fermented food, to reseed and repair the gut civilization you burned. Phase 2. Strategic rebuilding, weeks 2 to 4. Mitochondrial revitalization. CoQ10, PQQ, magnesium L-threonate. You're shipping in new parts for the power plants. Neuroregeneration. Lion's mane mushroom, omega-3s, high-dose EPA/DHA, phosphatidylserine. You're supplying the raw materials to re-insulate the burned wiring in your brain. Hormonal recalibration. Prioritize sleep above all else. Introduce heavy compound lifting, squats, deadlifts, to naturally spike testosterone and HGH. Sunlight at dawn for circadian reset. Phase 3. Sovereign fortification, month 2+. The new intoxication. Replace the dopamine hit of the drink with the superior hit of deliberate cold exposure, cold plunge, and conscious breath work, Wim Hof. You are retraining your reward system to seek biomimetic highs. The spiritual practice of sensation. Practice feeling everything. The cold water, the warm sun, the texture of food, the ache in your muscles after a good workout. You are rewiring your brain to interpret intense sensation as aliveness, not as a signal to numb out. Become an architect of your biology. You now understand you are not a passenger in this body. You are the chief engineer. Every meal, every sleep hour, every moment of exercise or meditation is a direct command you're issuing to a system capable of miraculous repair. Alcohol isn't destroying a vague, fictional version of you. It is performing a spec-ops dismantling of the most sophisticated biological machinery in the known universe, the one you call home. The good news? You're the machinery, and you have just found the enemy's playbook. The repair manual is written in the language of nutrients, sleep, and conscious intention. The demolition can stop the moment you choose to pick up the tools of construction instead of the tool of destruction. The choice is no longer between drinking or not drinking. It is between being a passive demolition site or becoming the active architect of your own renaissance. This is Napoleon Inspires. The demolition stops now. Let the rebuilding begin.